With the reveal of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 right around the corner, I wanted to keep you guys updated on all the little juicy pieces of news and information that we've got in the last couple of days about the game. There's some new gameplay clips, some information about how advanced the artificial intelligence is, the new sound engine, skins and guns that they've shared, and the appearance of tanks and armored vehicles in the beta alongside some more good stuff. First, so every day the COD channels have been releasing full HD footage of the single player campaign, little bits and bobs here and there. Some of it we've seen before, but there are clips that we haven't, and in this one, for example, with the reveal of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 right with the reveal of we haven't, and in this one, for example, we can see that there's going to be another AC-130 mission in this game. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, maybe you played or didn't play the original COD 4 Modern Warfare, but that had a mission in it called Death from Above, and when this came out, something like this hadn't really been done before. Yeah, it's been copied so many times since, but it was an awesome level, and the graphics again at the time were incredible. This looked real. So glad to see that we'll be controlling an AC-130 in the campaign, offering some fire support to Task Force 141 on the ground. I imagine that this will also be a kill streak returning in multiplayer too. Next up, an extended look at Ghost here walking through a chasm. COD obviously flexing their photogrammetry techniques here, and the graphics in this new version of the engine looking good.
What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we got another one of those little intel drops with some behind the scenes work on Modern Warfare 2, and this time they're talking all about audio. And a lot of this sounds great. I will play the clip at the end of this video so you guys can hear it completely unedited, but I am going to pull out the important parts and share my opinion on it first. Essentially, within this video, they're just going through a lot of the behind the scenes of how they capture various audio sources, which is really cool and interesting to see how they actually do this in the field. But there is one primary thing I wanted to focus on here in today's video, and that is this section right here.
We have a brand new occlusion engine, a brand new reverb engine.
Where are the controls?
We also have improved 3D directionality.
All of this so far sounds great. It sounds like they've made huge improvements in the audio department when it comes to directionality, as well as occlusion, which I think is very important as well. However, the next thing he says right after that section definitely concerns me, at least when it comes to Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer.
Which is really helpful if you're trying to, hunt people by footsteps and get the surprise on them as they come around a corner.
This is a pretty confusing statement to me. Are you actively hunting people with their footstep audio, or are you sitting and waiting for them to make the move so you can surprise them as they come around a corner, as he says? Now, at the end of the day, I'm still going to wait to get my hands on this before making any final judgment. This is more so just something that kind of concerns me, but we don't know if they're going to have a footstep dampening perk, although leaks suggest that that's not likely to be the case, and we don't know how loud these footsteps are going to be. Are they going to be as loud as those elephant footsteps in Modern Warfare 2019, or are they going to be more along the lines of a normal Call of Duty game? At the end of the day, though, when I first watched this and I heard him say those words, it definitely has me concerned, because that was one of my biggest complaints in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, I've gone on about this in great detail, and if you want to see my more detailed thoughts on what I think about footstep audio and why I feel it's important to have something like a footstep dampening perk in Call of Duty multiplayer, then I will leave a link to that video down below. But at a basic level, if the footsteps are really audible and it's really easy to pinpoint the exact location of a moving enemy in real time, that alone means there is a punishment for moving around the map and a reward for staying stationary, because players that move are generating footstep audio while also making it harder to hear other footstep audio because you have to hear your own footsteps while you're moving around. Whereas with stationary play, where you're just sitting and waiting for other players, not only are you not generating footstep audio so enemies can't pinpoint your location through sound, it also makes it much easier to hear other people's footsteps. So this sort of gameplay design encourages and rewards players for being stationary, and it punishes players for being aggressive. And that completely goes against what Call of Duty is to me and what I look for in Call of Duty multiplayer. As for the Warzone side of things, or DMZ, where it's more of like a big open world environment, I'm totally on board. I'm actually really happy to see they've got improved directional audio for this, because in a more open world environment, it's a completely different gameplay style, and having clear footstep audio complements the gameplay rather than harming the gameplay like it does for multiplayer, at least in my opinion. Now, in addition to that, throughout this video, it looks like we actually get our very first look at least part of the heads-up display for Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. So far, any little gameplay clips we've seen have been heavily cropped, and therefore you don't see the heads-up display. So you can see a little bit of the mini-map on the top left. It looks like they also have the score just under the mini-map instead of on the bottom left of the screen. Of course, this is all subject to change. This is a development build at this point. But it looks like they are on the map museum here as well, and the character is holding an AK of some sort. On top of that, we also got what is currently the longest multiplayer gameplay clip we've seen so far, at least unedited, uncut. And as far as I can tell, I think this is on the Farm 18 map that they revealed to us. It at least has a very similar sort of feel and tone to it, but I'm not 100% sure on that one at this point. And you can just see the character sort of traversing around the map with their M4. The one thing that I did pick up with this is it looks like the strafe speed is actually fairly decent on this. We don't know what attachments, if any, are on this gun, but I did immediately notice the strafe speed here appears to be a bit faster than Modern Warfare 2019, and that's a big positive for me. But with that, that's pretty much it. That's going to wrap it up for this quick intel drop and my thoughts on it. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What did you think about this intel drop? And what do you think about how he described the gameplay and hunting for people with footstep audio? If you enjoyed the video, a like.
That's interesting.
Ready to find a new apartment in St. Louis? Introducing the district. Ideally situated in a city, just moments away from eateries, parks, and
What's up, guys? My name is Ace, and we finally got another intel drop for Modern Warfare 2, and this time it's all about AI and how they've made adjustments to AI for this game, which is very important because AI is going to be a part of every mode, including Warzone 2 as well as DMZ. So AI seems more important than ever before. And on top of this, with this intel drop, there are several little gameplay clips that are brand new, and I'll break those down in a bit. But first, I just wanted to play the full clip for you guys so you can see what it's all about.
How we create artificial intelligence in Modern Warfare 2.
My name is Sergio Ocio. I'm the AI engineering director. So AI is anything that moves by itself. Enemies, allies that go with you in missions, cars. AI is everywhere in the game.
My name is Mark Grigsby. I'm a studio animation director. I say Modern Warfare 2's AI is systemic. What that means is that when you play it, you're engaging with it in a different way almost every time. If you react in a certain way, or if you move in a certain way, the AI will react to you in a different way.
The first thing that we do is start researching to see like what do people do in real life when they face this situation. We work with Navy SEALs just to make sure that everything that we do is as realistic as possible. We were looking at improving soldier speed during combat. In previous games, the AI felt like they were not appreciating their life, but in the new game, it feels like they are stressed out about the situation when they have to run somewhere.
We wanted the AI to engage with the environment. So one of the takes that we wanted is for the AI to hunt you in a way where it was believable, where you were like, okay, they're thinking about me. They're thinking about where I was, where I'm going to be, and they're preserving their lives, making sure that they're not going to get shot by me, that I'm around the corner.
The AI helps player be more immersed in the game, makes the player feel more like a real soldier. And they're helping sell the experience of you are really in the worlds where we put you in.
I think that the players are going to really enjoy the variety that we bring to the table when it comes to the AI. Not only are we going to have combatants, non-player characters, you're going to be able to travel your own path and engage or disengage. AI is a huge part of this project. It is across the entire game where we put a lot of investment, and I think people are going to really, really enjoy it.
So there we go. That's a clip. And my initial impression of this is great news, especially with how integrated AI is going to be in the game. And I'm very curious to see how it actually plays out. Because while we did get a bunch of clips here and the animations and everything look great, we won't really know what all of this means for the gameplay itself until we get our hands on it, until we can actually see how they react to a wide variety of situations, for instance. But I am very happy to see that they've been making adjustments here. And animation-wise especially, it's looking really good. Now, let's take a deeper look into a lot of the individual clips. We definitely have some new gameplay clips here that we haven't seen before. And the first ones that really caught my eye are the ones that take place on a nice, bright, sunny day. It appears this is in a Middle Eastern setting somewhere. And to me, this doesn't really look like a campaign environment. Instead, this looks like they're more in a multiplayer environment doing some testing with these bots. My initial knee-jerk reaction was maybe this is even a tease for Warzone 2, but I don't believe that's the case because that's heavily rumored to be taking place either in Mexico or somewhere in like South or Central America. So instead, my guess, based on the little bits that we can see here, is it does look like quite a large open environment, and therefore, maybe this is going to be a ground war map. Again, that's just a guess at this point, but I'm just throwing that out there. Another couple things I noticed from this clip is it looks like we got an AK-74U, and also, this is our first real look, as far as I'm aware, at TAC Sprint, which is kind of weird. All of the clips that we've seen leading up until now, they haven't really shown off TAC Sprint. It's mainly just people like walking around the map and stuff, so finally, the tactical sprint is 100% confirmed, although of course it was expected that it's returning. Additionally, in this clip here, it looks like we've got an over-under shotgun of some sorts. That's probably going to bring back some horrible traumatic memories for Modern Warfare 2019 players that hated that 725. Although, we really don't know how they're going to balance it in game, but there's another gun confirmed. Then we get a really short clip here in a different sort of environment. This one's either at dawn or dusk, it looks like, and it's just a character moving through that environment there. This is something completely new and unique that we haven't seen yet as well. After that, as far as new gameplay clips are concerned, it looks like we got a couple campaign clips of characters moving through a nighttime environment, possibly from the same mission, but maybe not. And then finally, I just wanted to address these clips right here. This is showing off the JTF2 skin that we have access to in Modern Warfare 2019 as well as Warzone. And you'll notice the M4 weapon model is also literally a copy and paste from Modern Warfare 2019. So that might be a bit concerning to some people, but I just wanted to clear this up. This is actually just chunks of a longer clip that we had access to see at a behind closed doors event before the game was revealed. And they were talking about AI when they were doing this. And this is just a tech demo. So I believe this was just the early workings of them reworking AI. And since it's just for a tech demo purpose, at the time they were just reusing assets from Modern Warfare 2019. I don't think these same assets are going to be in Modern Warfare 2. And with that, I don't really have anything else to add to this. It's nice to see a little bit more gameplay, nice to see that they've been reworking AI, and it's great to see Mark Grigsby still on the team because he and the team absolutely killed it with the animations in Modern Warfare 2019. And it's nice to see they're pushing things even further for the sequel. And with that, this is where I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What are you thinking about all of this? What are you thinking about the reworked AI? What are you thinking about these little gameplay clips? Is there anything that you picked up on that maybe I missed while looking at these clips? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
So, Con Next is tomorrow. I'm fresh off my flight to LA. I've got a microphone I'm not used to. There's a mariachi band playing outside my hotel room, but that's not stopping us because today Infinity Ward debuted the new and improved Gunsmith system, and I gotta say, In June, they said they wanted to make this game more approachable for the casual players, and looking at this, even I find some of it confusing the way it's worded, so kind of quite the opposite. Today we're bringing it down for you so that you're in the know and hopefully can understand this to the best possible degree. As we go along, drop your thoughts below. What do you think of the new system? At a glance, it your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video though, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 2. We'll give a video with everything here, and of course, tomorrow we are streaming Modern Warfare 2 gameplay right here, so make sure you subscribe for all of it. That said, let's jump into it. So today, Infinity Ward put out a video as well as a blog post detailing a little bit about the gunsmith system and also a little bit about the FJX Cinder weapon vault. Now, as for the gunsmith system at a base, let's talk about that first here. We can take a look at weapons in a different light here this year. The big thing is we kind of want to think of them as platforms because you're going to have your base weapon, sure, but there's going to be a lot more that stems out beyond that. We're going to have a ton of customizations beyond just setting up regular attachments. Now, we see in the customization of each weapon, we'll have 9 attachments, and right now, it looks like we'll have the ability to choose any 5 of them, though there's a 10th attachment that is a static option that we can't really call an attachment. It's more so what is called a receiver. That seemingly does not count towards your 5 total that you can use, but that 10th attachment called the receiver is where we come back to the idea of platforms. This receiver will allow you to essentially change the platform of the weapon to be a rifle, SMG, LMG, battle rifle, so on. So offering much more ways to play, which is also where it seems like we'll be able to see those sub-variants that we've seen so far come into play. The M16 was showcased for the M4 variant, which we knew about, and then a couple others as well. But it seems like we can jump in, progress that weapon, and then unlock those sub-variants of it. Now, in this video, the M4 had 4 receivers, and it's detailed on the blog post. Some weapons have upwards of 4 to 5 right now. Maybe there's more in the future, but the M4 had the base M4, the M16, the 5.56 Icarus, the FTAC Recon, and the FSS Hurricane. But based off the FJX Cinder Weapon Vault preview, it might be something we'll see more in the future. The way it was described, though, it seems like this will allow you to end up unlocking these, continuing attachment leveling and unlocks, but you'll be able to use attachments you get along the way across any of those receiver variants. It's stated attachable on other weapons in the same class, but that doesn't necessarily mean all rifles or all SMGs, but instead, again, under that umbrella of the base weapon. So if I unlock the FSS Hurricane attachments, I can use those attachments with the base M4 or M16, or at least most of the time. What's intriguing is in the blog post detailing the new gunsmith, it stated that the above is mostly the case, that being with weapon-specific attachments, but there are things like your optics, ammunition, underbarrels, foregrips, and muzzles that all can be used on every single weapon, unlocking them all at once. They stated, and I like this, expect reduced repetitiveness and reasonable challenges to unlock attachments and camouflage. And if you crave a journey towards mastery, don't worry, we've got that planned too. Now, just on the sense of unlocking stuff, this takes out some of the redundancies and makes it so you don't have to grind out the same optics, same ammunition 20 times over for various number of weapons in the game. And that is something that I love. That should hopefully make the grind for all weapons a little bit easier to manage. And also, the fact they're already hinting towards some mastery camo stuff or challenges, looking forward to that too. Hopefully we get something better than Damascus. Hopefully we get something that can keep the grind going, keep players intrigued, and of course engaged in the game. That's what I'm hoping out of it. But next, the weapon levels. The way that we saw this here, it looks like we may have a max of, say, 20 per weapon, but with each variant also including their own leveling as well. The base M4 had 20, but other weapons had 18, 15, and so on. So it seems like this will heavily incentivize the unlocks for other variants, encouraging you to play around with these different variants and weapon platforms, making sure that you go and experience the whole of the system. Maybe locking certain attachments again behind variant use, which would be interesting, but the ability to transfer that would make it definitely worth it. So that's something that really incentivizes the sort of play outside of your comfort zone, perhaps, if you're not necessarily used to using an M16 or something that may be an SMG build or an LMG build of the M4. I'm looking forward to it. But they also detailed a little bit about the FJX Cinder Weapon Vault. Fundamentally, in the perspective of the weapon platforms, these are the ultimate weapon platform. They unlock every single attachment and every single receiver for the gun, so essentially you have it leveled from day one, which will definitely make the beta interesting, meaning those who have the Vault Edition pre-ordered will end up having access to the FJX Cinder Weapon Vault, and they can use a maxed out M4 from day one, hour one. In that context, it makes sense why Joel previously mentioned that it was a rarer version of the current blueprint system that we had in place the last couple of years, but cosmetically speaking, it's exactly how we expected it to work. allowing the player to keep the cosmetic theme regardless of weapon attachment they choose, whereas the current blueprint system, if you change a weapon attachment that a blueprint might be carrying some cosmetic design over with, you change that attachment, it changes the entire look of the weapon. In some cases, some things like the stocks, if you change the stock, the entire blueprint camouflage is essentially gone. So that's something that is nice to see that. I kind of hope that while they're kind of marketing the weapon vaults a little bit more so towards the fundamental unlock of all attachments at the same time, maybe, fingers crossed, blueprints kind of fix that issue as well, and it's not the sort of main draw towards these weapon vaults. But I also don't know if that's a reasonable hope, but one would love to see it. Now, outside of this, we also saw some details in regards to not only just stuff that was shown in the gameplay, but also in the blog post. In the blog post, it was mentioned that firing range will be coming here, and of course, we'll have more information at COD Next. Didn't really give too much preview here on that one, but we will see it as of tomorrow. We ended up seeing that military ranks are confirmed, meaning that level 1 to 55, they did state that specifically, will be where you unlock your weapons, your perks, your equipment, your field upgrades, your streaks, and stuff like that. But also, in doing so, it seemingly confirms that we'll have something once again beyond that, where you only have to level up those military ranks once, and then you can end up jumping into using whatever you want the entire time. It's not like Prestige in the classic days, where it relocks everything and you have to unlock everything once again. So that's a positive, maybe not. If you're hoping for classic Prestige, that's kind of something that hints against that. But outside of that, we saw weapons in the menus of the M4 and the X12. We saw the equipment of the shock stick and the thermite. We saw a perk package which showcases 4 perks, which do have 2 in that tier 1 as rumored, 1 in tier 2, 1 in tier 3. So interested to learn more about that one. I don't think we're going to get any intel here from now until COD Next as of tomorrow. So we'll be experiencing this all together in that stream that we'll be doing. And then the field upgrade of the tactical camera was available there also. Now, a couple of other details. It was mentioned in that UI that we have attachment skins, which will be interesting. I don't know if that'll be something like how we have now the Frankensmith, where if you have attachments that are part of a blueprint, you can equip it there. That might be just the case there with that, but we also see in terms of the gunsmith, there are no specific detailed statistics like there were in Black Ops Cold War. It's the base sort of stat bars here with this, which honestly, when you think about the gunsmith, I'd love to see those detailed stats as frequently as possible. I thought that was a great addition that Cold War introduced, giving a lot more power to the player to fully understand what they're doing with their weapon. But alas, that's what we have here, not specific stats, still those stat bars. But anyways, that's where we're at here at this, and a lot we can learn from this new gunsmith experience that was just teased and explained by Infinity Ward. So again, all of this is going to be coming to a head. We're going to learn everything tomorrow at COD Next, and of course the beta the day to follow. So that's what we're going to call it. Let me know your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Do you like the sound of this new system in place? Maybe not so much. Whatever the case, feel free to let me know. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare 2. Again, we are playing and streaming Modern Warfare 2 tomorrow, so make sure you stick it here on the channel so you don't miss a single thing. That said, thanks so much for watching. Honest Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.
This week, and more specifically in just a few days, we'll be able to play Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. Finally, with the reveal at COD Next upcoming, we'll learn about a lot more in regards to specifics on features, weapons, maps, modes, streaks, progression, and all that we'll have on offer. But today I want to get you prepped for the beta and talk about everything we know so far, as well as what you need to know about. Today we're breaking down some of the big questions surrounding the beta, like when will my codes be coming, what time will the beta start for me, what cool features will we see as a bonus, and plenty others as we go along. So drop your thoughts below. What are you looking forward to the most in regards to Modern Warfare 2? Is there anything in particular you're really excited for? Any weapon, map, mode, or anything like that you're really hoping to see? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, you find it at all insightful, or it helps you out in any way, shape, or form, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to stay updated with all things Modern Warfare 2. We've got so much upcoming in the next couple of weeks to months here leading up to the launch and beyond. So if you'd like to stay in the loop with everything as well as join us on the road to 500,000 subscribers, I'd love to have you in the community. And finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market, but more on them a little later. For now, let's talk about the multiplayer beta and what you need to know. Firstly, how do you end up getting access to the multiplayer beta? On the most fundamental of levels, the beta here for Modern Warfare 2 will end up having a couple of different sort of sections to it. An early access portion, an open beta portion, and then on the second weekend, also another early access and open beta sections. So to end up getting that early access to play the most time that you possibly can, you're gonna end up needing a beta code. Now this is something you can end up getting from a various number of ways. Of course, the most advertised way is that of pre-ordering the game, whether that be from a number of different retailers anywhere online like Amazon to a local brick and mortar shop, to pre-ordering digitally either on BNet, Steam, PlayStation, or Xbox. But there's also a number of different ways you can end up obtaining a code as well. With some events like the CDL viewership, during COD Champs, they dropped beta codes, but those codes you end up getting from your retailer, the CDL, whatever the case, those had to be inputted at callofduty.com/redeem. Now, I think the specific page for the Modern Warfare 2 beta actually changed where it's like callofduty.com/promotion/redeem code/beta partner or something like that. But if you go to callofduty.com/redeem and you redeem that code on the branded Vanguard page, it will transfer you over to the proper page where you can do everything there. And it kind of reserved your spot in the beta essentially for that account. If you pre-order digitally on BNet, on Steam, on PlayStation, on Xbox, you wouldn't need any of these codes. The game will automatically recognize that you end up having access to it. And so therefore, come day of distribution and when you can end up preloading the game, that's when you can simply go and download the beta application. Now, if you do still need a code, we'll have a few on screen throughout the video that can be redeemed again for any platform at callofduty.com/redeem. So if you need one, hopefully that can help you out. Now, like I said, this reserves your spot essentially in line for the beta because that's not the actual download code for whatever platform you're playing on. That code, that should be coming any minute now. Last year with Vanguard, the beta codes for redemption and download on your actual PlayStation console went out on the 8th with the beta starting on the 10th. Black Ops Cold War the year before, those codes were sent out on the 7th of October when the beta started on the 8th. And the year before that, Modern Warfare 2019, those beta redemption codes accidentally first went out on the 9th of September, but fully to everybody on the 10th, while the beta started on the 12th. So normally we have about that 2-day period here, sometimes one. However, with the announcement of the preloading starting for PlayStation users tomorrow, Wednesday the 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's quite possible they roll out around that same time. So keep your eye open, but at that point, you'll be able to download the beta application from the PlayStation Store and a week later on Xbox as well as whatever PC platform you have the game redeemed on. Now, when is the time of launch here for the beta? Well, like we mentioned, the beta is categorized into 2 weekends. Weekend 1 is PlayStation Early Access. So that means only PlayStation users will be able to jump in immediately. Now, in that Weekend 1, there's sort of 2 subcategories here, Early Access and the Open Beta portion of Weekend 1. Early Access is for those that ended up having a code as previously mentioned. Early Access will grant you first access starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time on the 16th later this week. Now, if you're not from the West Coast of the US, what time does that come out for you? Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad that I spent a little time in Photoshop drafting this up to come prepared. But 10 a.m. Pacific time is 1 p.m. Eastern for places like New York on the East Coast, 2 p.m. for places like Sao Paulo, Brazil, 6 p.m. for places like London, 7 p.m. in the evening for places like Stockholm, Sweden, and Berlin, Germany, 8 p.m. for places like Moscow, 2 a.m. in places like Seoul, South Korea, and Tokyo, Japan, and finally, for comparison, 3 a.m. for Sydney, Australia. If none of those are your time zones, I do apologize. Hopefully, though, it did make your conversions a little bit easier instead of having to add 10 hours or so to the timing of when it goes live on the West Coast. But for those still on PlayStation who did not get a code, you'll then also have an opportunity to play a few days later because on Saturday the 18th, the game goes to open beta, meaning that anyone for PlayStation can play the beta. Now, what's even better is you don't need PlayStation Plus according to their official blog post detailing the beta. So seriously, if you have any thought of jumping in and checking it out, nothing's stopping you. Now, that first weekend will solely be for PlayStation, once again to reiterate, and will conclude on the 20th. Now, Weekend 2, the crossplay beta, that's something that will pick up for PlayStation in an open state once again. So if you missed Weekend 1 and you're on PlayStation, you don't need a code or anything. You can jump right into it on Weekend 2. But that Weekend 2 to also offer the opportunity to play to Xbox and PC, that starts on the 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Now, I'd say it's about a 50-50 right now, but with Weekend 1 ending on the 20th and Weekend 2 starting on the 22nd, there's just a part of me that kind of thinks that they'll just say screw it and completely bridge that gap with an extension on Weekend 1 and then an early start on Weekend 2. I mean, doesn't it also kind of seem pointless to take one singular day off in the middle of that 2-week span? I mean, maybe that's just me being too optimistic, for extra playtime, but that's my prediction and I'm kind of sticking to it. But that said, while PlayStation will still continue the open status, the 22nd starts the early access period for PC and Xbox. So for those on Xbox and PC, you will need a beta code to play the game on the 22nd until 10 a.m. Pacific time on the 24th. Before that goes open beta. Now, for those that do, that beta starting on the 22nd will start at 10 a.m. Pacific, which again is 1 p.m. Eastern for places like New York, 2 p.m. for Sao Paulo, Brazil, 6 p.m. for London, 7 p.m. for Stockholm, Sweden, Berlin, 8 p.m. for Moscow, 2 a.m. for Seoul, South Korea, and Tokyo, Japan, and 3 a.m. for Sydney, Australia. On the 24th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, that's when the crossplay beta goes live to open status across the board, which means regardless of platform, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series S and X, as well as PC, you can play the game with no limitations whatsoever. Now, those are the hard dates that we are given. Is there a possibility that it could launch earlier overall? Sure, maybe it launches a little bit into the evening after COD Next, but I'd kind of wager more on the side of extensions of week 1 and bridging that gap between weekend 1 and 2 rather than an early launch overall. But that's just an educated guess that I have. That said, that's how you get access, that's when it starts. What about the content we can expect to see here? Admittedly, despite being 3 days out, we actually don't have a whole lot of things confirmed for what we can see coming. They've kept everything pretty close to the chest, and save leaks from Warzone Mobile a while back that leaked everything, not just the beta build we'll have, we haven't really seen anything officially confirmed. I mean, sure, on a broader sense, we can see things like a hefty list of playable weapons, gunsmith functionality, basic systems of play and the mechanics that come into the equation, like dolphin diving, how slide canceling will or will not react with a player, and so on. But from a specific standpoint, we know of Marina Bay Grand Prix, Farm 18 as maps, likely museum in there as well, and we've also seen modes recently teased: Search and Destroy, Cranked, TDM, Domination, Ground War Bomb, maybe Capture the Flag, but some of those would be rather interesting to see within the beta. So maybe those countdown teasers and what they've revealed don't fully make it into the beta, but from a holistic standpoint, let's just say basically any question gameplay oriented you may have is likely to have an answer within the beta. Oppositely though, things though you should bear in mind will not be in the beta include things like a full level progression system. Your prestige system, whether it be traditional, seasonal, a brand new system in place here for the year going forward, that will not be in the beta at the start here. That's something that we won't probably learn about until a little later on down the line, closer to launch, but the beta is usually traditionally like your 1 to 55, your overall ranks to unlock things, but also it's not something we will ever get to that max level either. I'd kind of wager that our max level may be around 30, 35, maybe 40 if they want to push it really hard, but you're not going to see the full year progression system at hand here. Also, even if they are viewable, we're not going to have access to all the weapons, streaks, perks, maps, and modes as a result of that level progression system sort of being limited. We might be able to see every single weapon coming in the game, but we won't be able to play with it because there'll be some that are still locked, if they're even visible at all. And then one thing also that, while I would love to see it, camos in your camo challenges, you're not going to see that in the beta as well. I got a lot of questions recently asking about that one, so I wouldn't expect it. Now, before we jump into some additional bonus features and other experiences we may have in the beta, I want to let you guys know about my friends over at Gamer Advantage real quick. If you've been on the channel here, you probably know about these guys, but they're a blue light glasses company that I've been working with for almost 2 years now at this point, and to this day, I'll still swear by them, man. I work at my PC for anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours a day, and looking at a screen is something that is taxing on your eyes day over day, month over month, year over year. If you're in a similar boat working at a computer all day for your job, or if you're just looking at your phone for prolonged periods of time, any sort of screen, you'll definitely notice the effects of blue light. Now, I've had trouble combating it for years, and I'll be the first to say I'm absolutely that person that tried just about every pair of blue light glasses you can find generically off Amazon. Gamer Advantage is head and shoulders above anything on Amazon that you'll find. A little bit more of an investment, absolutely, but they are definitely worth it. They're the most comfortable, durable, and lightweight frames on the market, and to me that makes them such a great choice for their daily use. Not to mention the best part, their lenses are clinically proven here and put through the ringer in terms of testing, and while I may not be able to convey the science as best as they can over on their website, I absolutely have seen the results here since using them. Gamer Advantage is the advantage of espresso, and if you're looking to get your own advantage, check the link in the description below to learn more, and if you want to pick something up, use code espresso to get 10% off your entire order. That said, let's get back to everything you need to know about the beta here, and let's talk about some new bonus features that we'll be seeing in the beta. The first of which is a first for the beta overall since our very first beta back in 2015 with Black Ops 3. For the first time, we will see some cosmetics, and I know that we just mentioned we won't see camos, but this is a different kind of cosmetic. For those that end up pre-ordering the Vault edition of Modern Warfare 2, they'll end up having access to the FJX Cinder Weapon Vault, which we're confirmed will have more details for coming before COD Next, which seems like tomorrow's that reveal is the only time we have left between now and where something could be released. But for now, it appears to be a sort of blueprint system that allows for interchangeable attachments that does not change the cosmetic features of the weapon. Blueprints, whereas beforehand you'd end up changing, say, a barrel, a stock, and it could change the entire look of a weapon in that blueprint aesthetic. This is something that's built out so that every single attachment ends up having that same cosmetic feel. Now, will this assumption change with official information? It's possible. Will it offer more than just cosmetics and maybe offer up some functional things like the sub-variants of each weapon? We'll have to see. So for those that have the Vault Edition, you'll end up being able to use this along with your Red Team 141 Operator Pack, which is 4 different operators with custom uniforms alongside that. So a nifty little bonus here that might affect you, it might not, depends on what you ended up doing here with the beta. Now, additionally, for any collectors out there that plan on picking up Modern Warfare 2, you'll definitely want to make sure you jump into the beta at some point. Detailed yesterday were the Modern Warfare 2 beta rewards, which include some cool stuff. But again, across Weekend 1 and Weekend 2, you gotta level up and actually unlock these. Now, at level 2, you end up getting the Smashed It emblem, the Buckle Up charm at level 4, the Pass the Test player card at level 6, the Operation First Blood sticker at level 10, a weapon blueprint of the Side Impact at level 15 for what appears to be a pistol conversion. We don't quite know what weapon in particular that is. Then in week 2, you can end up getting the Collision Operator skin at level 18, the No Competition Vinyl at level 19, the Safety First sticker at level 21, the Floor Vehicle skin at level 26, and then finally at level 30, which may or may not be our level cap, is the Frontal Impact weapon blueprint for what looks like the Scar L. Those all will be redeemed on your account automatically if it is the same account that you played the beta with on October 28th, launch day. So you get some cool cosmetics on day 1 just by simply taking part in the beta and ranking up. So if you're interested in that, of course, make sure you grind out whatever weekend or weekends you end up playing the beta. Now, moving past a little bit of that cool bonus stuff, one thing that we do have to talk about, and you definitely have to keep in mind, is that experiences for the beta will probably greatly vary. The beta is the first time that we'll get hands-on gameplay, right? I mean, everything we've seen up until this point from official marketing, from gameplay that's been put out, that's likely stuff that has come from PC high-quality gameplay capture. This is the first time that we'll see the game out in the wild. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One gameplay will be out there with PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, as well as PC builds of the game. Now, if you're on those platforms, a fair warning, it will probably be a lesser experience. I'm hoping that it's not, but the probability of a game built for next-generation consoles running as well as it does on those, but on consoles that can be upwards of 9 years old, it's not likely the case. So do bear that in mind, that while it is hopefully a great experience for everybody, those especially on earlier generation PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones may end up having a tough time running this game at the peak performance that it's made for. So just keep that in mind. Next, one brief thing that I want to mention that I've seen quite a few times in comments over on Twitter, Reddit, wherever the case, that we see usually every single year around the beta, but this time this year I feel like with more eyes perhaps on Modern Warfare 2 than there were on Vanguard, I feel like the frequency of the question is a little higher. With that being, will your stats from the beta carry over? Short answer, no. They will not carry over. Anything you do in the beta will not progress over, whether that be your weapon unlocks and weapon leveling, your overall level progression for your sort of soldier rank, any challenges that may be live sort of just by association with the base build of the game. That stuff will not carry over into the full experience come October 28th and beyond. So unfortunately, yeah, it kind of means that everything you do here in the beta is inconsequential, but at the same time, it's inconsequential. So have a blast, do whatever you want, play around with quite literally every single weapon, play around, experiment with different weapons, modes, streaks, all that kind of stuff, because you got nothing to lose. So just bear in mind, anything you do will not transfer over to the full game. And the final thing I want to talk about here today is more so just like a reminder here that I don't think that it's been announced just yet, but usually with every single beta, there is a public feedback location. Something of either like as simple as a Google form or something that you can put feedback on Reddit or wherever the case. Usually it's a more concentrated, direct effort that's announced when the beta goes live, so by the time this video going up, probably won't be announced just yet, but keep an eye out for that one, and absolutely do remember to submit your feedback for the beta. I feel like it should be a no-brainer, but we're going to say it regardless. Of course, if you do submit feedback, keep it constructive. Nobody anywhere is going to take feedback and ideas seriously if it's something that's just laden with expletives and something like that. So absolutely, if you have constructive criticism, relay to the channels that put out there that they want to hear that, so that your voice and opinion can be heard on the game, and where we may be able to see some changes made from the beta to the launch window. That month, while not a whole ton of time, will be time that Infinity Ward can gauge feedback and make associated changes if they feel it's the right play. With this being the first experience anybody will have for their hands-on gameplay, I'm absolutely sure that it's not going to live up to expectations of a lot of people. So in turn, do what you can to end up making your opinion on what should be made better, readily available, and in a way that the developers would be receptive to it. So keep that in mind, be on the lookout for any sort of feedback, submission locations, or forums. But that said, overall, that is where we're going to wrap it up. That is everything you need to know about the beta going forward here, and hopefully can provide you with a little bit of insight going into the gameplay experience. So that
game's looking good so far. We're getting MW3 or Master 2.
The hottest hits of the summer. All of one playlist. Lizzo.
Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jet. By the way, I want to thank you guys for all the love on the recent videos. We got some more news today, though. Got the beta coming up at the end of this week, and since, you know, obviously it's beta week now, we're going to be getting more teasers and information leading up to COD Next and everything, and then obviously a ton of information there. We got info that we can actually preload the beta of Modern Warfare 2 now, I believe on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. But with it being beta week, we actually got some more information here, a new announcement, new blog post and everything. New Call of Duty Next event intel, how to watch, preload, beta rewards and stuff. That's basically what I'm going to look at here, though. Basically the beta rewards. It talks about the whole thing. Call of Duty Next is shaping up to be nothing short of spectacular. Here's what it tastes of what to expect. I honestly, I don't know, these Call of Duty events, whenever the streamers go out there and shit, even the recording process is still scuffed sometimes. I've known creators that have been flown out there and then tried to record, and then the recording is bugged, and then they just have to collect all of that recording from all the other people that were there. So for me, like, I have absolutely no interest in going, you know, travel
So we'll
hours
probably
and hours and
stream
hours stressed
tomorrow
out,
on
thinking
the
that I
next
could
event.
die on the way there in like a car crash or some shit just to play the new COD for a couple hours. It ain't worth it. I'm sorry. There are things that I want, but to live, yeah, living is awesome. 150 of your favorite streamers will be in attendance, ready to squad up, drop in, and play. Key details about the Modern Warfare 2 open beta will be shared, as well as
150 streamers.
redacted information and additional surprises. So this could either be Warzone 2 information or DMZ. I'm gonna assume Warzone 2 because they haven't made any true real announcements about it yet, talking about it or anything, so we'll see. Broadcast kicks off Thursday. Oh, it's at 12:30 Pacific. You know, that's actually kind of interesting timing. So what, is Call of Duty Next gonna be, what, a half an hour long? The way that this is lining up, I'm just saying, the way that this is lining up, I think this is gonna be released on Thursday. I know I'm starting some sort of rumor in this way, I get it, but the way that this time slot looks, it doesn't make sense. It should be 10 a.m. Pacific instead of 9:30 a.m. Pacific. This makes me believe that the event is around 30 minutes long, and as soon as you hit that 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern, that's usually when updates roll around. So what if we go through this whole event, ends right at update time, and they tell us, hey, the beta is actually live right now, for PlayStation users anyway. I don't know, that's just an interesting time slot right here. They have a half an hour before an update goes out on a day that doesn't seemingly matter what update would come out at that point, because we're obviously still waiting for the beta. It also doesn't even really make sense, even if a regular update were to be coming out that day, like
say that this event wasn't really happening. It's not like they couldn't run the event when they do like a playlist update or some shit. I don't know. That's just interesting timing. I'm just pointing it out. Now it says Friday. It's gonna start on Friday, but I don't know. That timing's a little weird. PlayStation owners can download the beta early, starting on Wednesday, September 14th, 10 a.m. Pacific. All right, so we've seen all this stuff, right? We've seen this a million times. We've been talking about it for weeks, months even. But now we finally have something new here. So Modern Warfare 2 open beta reward. Weekend 1 animated emblem, smashed it, unlocked that level 2. Buckle up charm, animated player card, a sticker, and a weapon blueprint unlocked at level 15. I don't necessarily know what weapon that is. Some people were saying like MP7 or some shit, but I don't know. That looks a little different from an MP7 from what I remember. I could be wrong. I don't know shit about guns. I haven't played Call of Duty so long and still don't know shit about guns. I don't give a fuck about guns, dude. So many different weapons look so similar in so many different ways, and then there's just like small little differences that people can point out and whatever. I mean, that's impressive. Cool. Good for you. Not me, though. I do not care. We also get an operator skin. This is our first look at like an operator skin in terms of like how they're even rendering the way that the models look. We have a better picture right here. Here's the skin. Sticker, a vehicle skin. Does that mean that we're going to be using a vehicle in the beta? Are there vehicles in the beta? We're going to get like a ground war or some shit. And then a weapon blueprint frontal impact unlocked at level 30. So I assume the beta is going to go max level to 30. Maybe weekend 1, it'll cap us out at 15 or 20 or something like that. And then weekend 2, it'll cap us out at the end at 30. This also says a vinyl. I thought that this was like a calling card or something like that. It's a vinyl. And I think a vinyl is actually like the audio. It could be something else completely different though. But from what I remember, like on Cold War, they had like tapes and shit that would like play music and stuff. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe you can play music while in the vehicle or change it in the menus or something. So some people are saying this is the ACR. Other people are saying it's the AMAC. Other people are saying the SCAR. I don't really know what this weapon is. No idea if it's like accurate, whatever. I mean, obviously we don't see any gameplay of it, but so whatever this little SMG is and whatever this AR is, I mean, even if they did have the names of them, to be fair, we don't really know if we should even be excited for either of these weapons. They could just be ass. You never know. Ensure you have the latest information about it. Check in the Call of Duty blog for a full rundown of everything you'll receive, including the Vault Edition rewards available during the beta, as well as content you can use right now in Vanguard and Warzone. Check out this blog. It's really annoying. Like, obviously, double XP is like super important for me. Like, if I want to get through this leveling process and like cambos and shit as quickly as possible. They have this whole scuffed thing where like they're only giving people double XP whenever they ordered it through the in-game store, instead of like, I don't know, getting it on Steam or ordering it just on Battle.net without going through the store. It's like, it's so fucked up. I really hope that I get my things. I'm pretty sure I bought it through the store. What happens if you were to gift it to somebody? Would that person get the double XP? I can't gift through the in-game store. I feel like everybody should just get that double XP with that Vault pre-order, no matter what platform or whatever. Paying like $100 fucking. Obviously, I don't encourage anybody to go and spend, you know, the most expensive version, but also Warzone 2 presumably being, you know, free as well. It's just, if you kind of want a head start on Warzone 2 before it comes out and be more familiar with the mechanics of the game, you're probably going to want to play Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. But the rumor, though, you got about maybe only 3 weeks, maybe a month or so until Warzone comes out. So that's really why I'm hoping that I get that double XP so I can really get through all the camo challenges before Warzone 2 comes out. That's really what everybody is going to be just clamoring for. It's going to be nuts. If you think this skin is boring, stick to Fortnite, respectfully. You're going to have 50 operators that look like this in Modern Warfare 2, and it's going to be so boring. Like how Vanguard had 30 different skins with a gas mask that all look the same. Well, at least it has some color on it. It's not like some plain black and gray. Yeah, I mean, true. I don't like the highlighter color. It reminds me of the hall monitors in school. And genuinely speaking, like literally in elementary school, hall monitors upset me so much that I'm still mad about it decades later. I try not to hold grudges, but as soon as I see this highlighter color, it's just, they're about to write me up for walking too fast. Worst beta rewards ever. Well, that's just wrong. That's literally wrong. Someone would give you like just a calling card. It was so fucking funny. The other rewards, like no one even talked about it. At least the majority of people are saying that it's actually pretty clean. To be fair though, I'm gonna expect a lot of this where things that might be kind of on the scale might be, since it has the Modern Warfare name on it, people are gonna be like, nah, I think that looks great. Because people just straight up actively and willingly ignore the problems with these games. It's crazy. That Modern Warfare name has so much power, it's nuts. Also, once all that COD Next and shit comes out and all the gameplay is there, obviously I'll make a video, you know, reacting to it and shit. Obviously obviously I'm not going to be able to play it myself. Now, I mean, I've been invited to these events and stuff, but you know me, I don't go anywhere, so. Oh, I really hope that they nerf mounting. If they're gonna have mounting in the game at least, I hope they nerf it. Make it so it doesn't remove all recoil, you know what I mean? Like, if you were to take mounting as like an attachment, it's literally the greatest attachment in the game. It's the greatest means that you have of reducing your recoil in the game. I think if they like reduce its effectiveness by maybe, I don't know, 20, 30%, like it should absolutely help. It makes sense that it helps. I also understand that there is a drawback where you're stuck on the edge of the ledge, but we also don't know if we can actually move with mounting on this game. Like we can over on Vanguard, for example. You can like strafe while mounted or whatever, which is crazy, by the way. Speaking of crazy, that House of the Dragon episode, we're definitely back in the Game of Thrones world, that's for sure. I wonder if there's gonna be an OP shotgun right off rip for Modern Warfare 2. A 725 is overtuned to off rip. People just need to have time to find it or find an attachment that is just absolutely broken. I wonder what the shoot house equivalent is gonna be on this game. Obviously, they should be bringing back shipment. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed. I wonder what the equivalent is gonna be. Obviously, you just gotta make a pretty symmetrical map. You know, make one side pretty unique, another side pretty unique, but even both ways, sort of. And then just have both sides down the middle the exact same. Like, I love maps like that. I really do. They're really simple. They're real balanced. They make the most sense. They have the least amount of spawn issues. You guys do remember the spawn issues when this map came out, though, right? Or just in general on this game. It was crazy because when we were on the bigger maps, the game would do a great job at spawning people incredibly far away from all of the action. It would take forever to get back into it. Not to mention that you couldn't skip that annoying ass animation where it would fly back down into the map every single time you died over and over again. It's kind of like that Battlefield thing where every single time you get killed, you have to go through the process of letting your character give up and die or get rezzed, and then go through the whole animation of picking your thing and then spawning back in. The camera would do that panning thing all the time, and then on top of that, it would be spawned so far away from the action that multiple games, especially even in Team Deathmatch, there was no radar. They were telling everybody to just use the compass, bro. We're not saying that it doesn't work. We're saying that the other way works much better. The game flows better. People understand better. People enjoy it better. So why are we even changing that shit? And then once we got the smaller maps like Shoot House and Shipment, as soon as we got those maps, we were spawning on top of and inside of other players repeatedly. It was crazy. Now, most games off rip aren't usually that great. I think Modern Warfare 2 in terms of the beta is going to be a lot of fun, so long as we actually have like a lot of access to things. I'm really hoping that it's like a regular multiplayer experience and not some stupid stuff like 2v2. I want 6v6 or more. I want to play the game. I want to play it within a multiplayer setting. I don't want Warzone mechanics. I don't want BR mechanics. I simply just want COD multiplayer. Call of Duty multiplayer has been on the decline for so long. Modern Warfare 2019 brought that back up, but a lot of people say, oh, it's just a thing for Warzone. But that's really just how people view it. Because they care about Warzone is why they view it that way. If less people gave a single shit about Warzone, we wouldn't be saying that we're doing this for Warzone. We would just simply be playing the game. That's coming up. Maybe we'll get some more teasers or information or gameplay or something like that, in every single day coming up to it. Maybe some more gameplay will drop tomorrow and maybe the next day before COD Next. But it looks good. Looks crispy. Typical Modern Warfare. What's going on, guys? It's Shed. So today we ended up getting a video from Infinity Ward. How we design guns